Whispers in the Silence. Part 1, The Quiet Before the Storm. Elena Bennett had everything society told her should make a woman happy: an elegant apartment overlooking Central Park, a husband whose face was often on magazine covers, and invitations to all the right events. Her husband, Daniel, was a renowned architect, always dressed in tailored suits and wrapped in a cool, collected charm. They had been married for 6 years. 6 calm, organized, picture-perfect years. The kind of marriage that looked flawless in Instagram reels and Christmas cards. But behind the smiles, there was a silence. Not a peaceful one. The kind that creeps in at dinner when you've run out of things to say. The kind that hums through cold sheets in a king-sized bed. The kind of silence that whispered louder than words ever could. It started with small things. Daniel stopped texting her during the day. His late nights at the firm became routine. He had passwords now. And Elena, who used to be wild, curious, the kind of woman who'd paint her bedroom red just because, had started hesitating before asking questions. One night, as the rain knocked softly against the window pane, Elena opened his laptop. Her heart pounded, her fingers trembling slightly. She didn't want to know. But she had to. And there it was, an email titled "Last Weekend Blackheart" from someone named Sophie. Her chest tightened. She clicked. Inside were photos. Daniel. Smiling. On a yacht. Not alone. Sophie was younger. Carefree. Barefoot on deck, clinking glasses with her husband. The way he looked at her in the photos, Elena hadn't seen that expression in years. Not on her. Elena stared at the screen, unmoving, for what felt like hours. The sound of the rain blurred into a low hum, and the silence in the apartment grew louder, heavier, suffocating. But she didn't cry. Not yet. Instead, she whispered to herself, "You don't destroy the storm, you ride through it." Part 2, The Storm Breaks. The next morning, Elena sat across from Daniel at the long marble breakfast island. He scrolled through his phone, sipping his black coffee like nothing had changed. She watched him carefully. Observed the wrinkle at the corner of his eye, the way he scratched his wrist when he lied, an old habit he'd never noticed. And he was doing it now. Again and again. She didn't say anything. Not yet. She needed more. That afternoon, she hired someone, a private investigator. Elena never thought she'd do something so calculated. But betrayal rewires you. Turns warmth into steel. Turns a wife into a hunter. Within 3 days, she had photos. Hotels. Reservations. Receipts. Even voice recordings. There were at least 4 different women. Sophie was just the one he was currently obsessed with. The others? A pattern. A collection. A hidden gallery of lies painted with lust. But the worst part wasn't the cheating. It was the effort. The planning. The energy. The emotion. He wasn't a man who had made a mistake. He was a man who had built another life, deliberately, precisely, selfishly. And in all of that planning, he had erased her. The woman who had stood by him when he was still designing coffee shops and sleeping on studio floors. The woman who had edited his portfolios at 3 a.m. and stayed up to iron his first suit when he landed his first real client. Now, she was just the wallpaper. Decor. A silent figure in his success story. But not for long. Elena wasn't wallpaper. And she would remind him who she really was. Part 3, The Reckoning. Elena didn't scream. She didn't throw his clothes into the street or slash his tires. She did something much colder. Something unforgettable. She waited for his next business trip, a 4-day architecture summit in Vancouver. The night before his flight, she kissed his cheek, told him good luck, and packed his favorite tie. He smiled, oblivious. By the time his plane touched down, Elena had done the following. Cleared out the joint account. Sold the vintage car she had gifted him 3 anniversaries ago. Sent each of the women Daniel had cheated with a copy of the photo album labeled, Volume I, The Lies He Told Us All. But the final masterpiece? She hosted a private gallery showing all of Daniel's proudest architectural designs, professionally printed, beautifully displayed. Next to every photo of him with his mistresses. Every floor plan matched with betrayal. The symmetry was poetic. Invitations had gone to his clients, partners, and their inner circle. She called the gallery the blueprint of deceit. By the time Daniel got back, Elena was gone. The apartment sold. The silence replaced by a note that read, "I learned from the best. But I'll never be like you." Months later, Elena sat in a cafe in Rome, sunlight hitting her face. A new city. A new name. And finally, peace. The end.